Welcome to my channel, Doll Person. I'm going to be reading my fic, The Mental Break, on AO3. I published it underneath Greek mythology, but it's not really underneath any fandoms. Sorry. But here's the summary. Oh wait, the tags are murder, torture, gore, violence, disappearances, and there's no happy endings. There is about 1,155 words and one chapter. Hope y'all enjoy. Summary. There sat a boy who went of the name Vincent. All he wanted was love, and yet his parents believed that he was a child of the devil. And so they banished him to the basement. That is where he met her, the lady so beautiful that it should be a sin to even look at her. Vincent was only 5 when he was banished from the world. His parents, Sarah and David, filled his head with lies, telling him that people wanted him only for his curse, the power that was gifted by an eldritch being, but yet they were the ones to use him the most. They would put his body up for profit. They would sell him out for a period of time. By the time he was 7, he was numb. He felt so empty. It was a workout just for him to get up. That is when he saw her. Evelyn was a creature of some kind. She was still considered a child in human years. She would be 9 years old. She was doing her runs, checking with her mother's curations, and that's when he saw him. A little boy. He couldn't be older than 5. Oh, how wrong she was. The boy was beaten black and blue, bags under his eyes, dark as the depths of hell, and yet not 1 ounce of purity in those eyes. Evelyn felt something off with this human. To her, it almost felt like an equal, at least on some level. Evelyn looked at this broken boy with morbid curiosity. She watched the way he moved. His bones seemed almost to creak. The way the boy looked, he looked so broken. A broken boy that used to be as pure as an angel. She was so lost in her thought that she didn't even notice that he was studying her too. Vincent looked at the strange being. He saw something beautiful among the leaves, birds, bugs that were all nestled among the being's body. He tried to look closer, but that's when it started to take more of a humanoid shape. He was blinded by crow feathers, and then when he was able to see again, he saw a young girl instead of that strange being. He watched the girl step closer with leaves and feathers falling off her petite frame. He stepped back, not expecting the girl to walk towards him. Evelyn was so transfixed on this broken boy, so much so that she wanted a closer look. She took a body of a young girl, just to see if that broken boy's skin was as fragile as a baby bird's bones. She was walking closer to the bundle of the boy. She felt a pang of hurt as the boy scooted away from her. That did not stop her from walking over to the boy. She stopped halfway through her stride when the chamber began to open, and 1 tall, muscular guy walked down to grab the broken boy. She watched him get dragged across the chamber into a wooden door. She turned into a mouse and followed what could only be explained to be a torture chamber. Evelyn saw the poor boy get used for his body, his DNA. She sat and listened to the wet sounds of blood splattering on the ground. She looked up and saw the glassy eyes, did not see any emotion. She saw no pain nor fear. Once the man had left the room, she switched to talk to the broken boy. He might be more shattered than broken, she thought bitterly. He looked at her strangely. She took off the bindings and healed him up with the little energy he had. This continued on for another 8 years. The broken boy was now 15 and was closer to the edge than ever before. As he was aging, Evelyn was by his side whenever she could. She watched the broken boy grow into a mechanical machine. Each time she visited the boy, he looked more and more lost, and then he broke. The day started out like any other day, but you could tell something in the air was wrong. Vincent was getting dragged along the ground when he broke. He once used his powers. for himself. He tortured like his father, like he'd done to him so many times. Vincent locked his father's hands above his head and beat his chest with a metal pole. His skin was red and raw. By the 30th hit, the blood started to ooze out. When his chest was enough, he switched to his legs. His legs were so mangled you couldn't even tell they were those appendages in the first place. At some point, Vincent stopped and healed very little of David's body, just so David could be in agony longer. Vincent shoved small, thick wood spikes behind his nails and slowly ripped them out. He toyed with his father's body for what seemed like days. That is, till he got bored with him and just bashed his father's head in. You could hear the wet, cracking sounds of his skull. Vincent stood and smirked and giggled. He went up the stairs to find his dear old mother. Vincent skipped the stairs. The sky was pitch black. There was no stars nor moon. It was as if the gods were above, were getting ready for him to kill. As he was walking by the black door, there stood a shiny axe. That would do, he thought. Once the axe was in his clutches, he set off to find his mother. Vincent walked into his parents' room to find Sarah curled around some 6-foot-tall muscular man. He hummed in displeasure. Vincent dragged the muscular dude off the bed, only to pin him to the wall by these strange, oily vines. Sarah woke up during the commotion and was pleading with her son. He looked at her with absolute rage and enjoyment. "Mother dearest, you shall," watch the life drain out of his eyes, Vincent stated. Those oily black tendrils wrapped around his neck. Vincent began to laugh at Sarah's begging, the look in the dude's eyes, and the dude's look in his eyes. It was a look of pure helplessness, fear and knowing. The light in his eyes began to fade as one tendril stabbed him in the gut. Vincent looked at his sobbing mother with adoration. He wanted to see her head off, and the dull look in her eyes when she was dead. Sarah got tied up to the bed, both arms up by her head, bored both of her legs on the end of the bed. Vincent grabbed that shiny axe and took off each of her limbs and then her head. Throughout this, he had the widest smirk that Evelyn ever saw, and the most enjoyment in his eyes. Vincent looked around and saw her, Evelyn. He ran over sobbing, repeating the mantra of sorries and forgive me's. Evelyn looked down at him to say, "You're free. You can do as you please. Come and follow to forget this life and start a new one with her." Vincent looked at her and then nodded in his head in agreement. He went off, never to be seen again. Okay, so that's what I have of the mental break. Let me know if I should podfic my hero fix, and if I do, what one should I do? Also, I really hope you enjoyed my little fic that I wrote. Yeah, have a good night, sleep well, or it could be day, so have a good day too. Remember to take your medication and drink some gosh dang water. Okay? No dehydration. No croaking over the bucket. No sirs. Night, y'all.